If you've clicked on this video, chances are you're already creating video content to market your business, but the way that you're creating it right now isn't working as hard as you want it to, and you've pinpointed the fact that it's down to your ideas may need a bit of work. Perhaps your content ideas feel a bit too generic, or you're using AI to give you a list of 100 in the space of 15 seconds and not matching the level of creativity that you want to hit. Well, by the end of this video, I'm going to help you to understand how to come up with ideas that actually get you the attention that you deserve and move the needle for your business. So let's dive in. Just as a bit of credibility as well, I've been making videos for the last 15 years. I've made over 4,000 of the buggers for brands like these all over the world. So what I say here, don't take it as verbatim, just explore what I say, okay? I have a very adventurous style of presenting, and if it clicks with you, just take the good, remove the bad, and implement the good. Happy days. For example, one of the first videos that I created professionally, I would say, was a short film called The Hitman. Be a man. Why should I? From there, I jumped ship to creating weekly vlogs, and I made about 100 of them. Here's an example of one.
Good, merry morning to you guys. How are you guys doing? Today is university day, which means we've got so much work to do.
After that, I moved to creating funny skits and sketches to add a bit of humor into things. Here's that example.
I've always loved you, mate. You're always there for me. You're always there for me.
As I started to get a little bit older and started to learn about the world of business and finance and management and all those sorts of things, I started to create videos around financial management and financial literacy like this.
36% of UK employees, based on a study from the WTW's Financial Wellbeing of over 4,000 employees here in the UK.
And then I got to the point where I started working with big brands like the ones I mentioned at the start, because I felt like I'd got enough experience to be able to do stuff like this.
The Nourished Stack, a fully personalised, sugar-free, great-tasting gummy that includes 7 high-impact vitamins and minerals.
Now, I share these examples not to boast or to boost my ego or to kiss my backside. I've done plenty of that. It's just to show you experience, okay? It's just to show you where I've gone to where I am now, to give you a bit of understanding of where I'm approaching this video from. What's key to remember here is that over the last 15 years, AI hasn't really been a thing. It's only really popped up in the last 2 or so years from 2025. So that whole journey has been creative thinking, mastery of doing the thing itself, and most likely just practice and getting the reps in and getting skin in the game. But the key thing here is that I've always created ideas based on what is trending, the current research, my interests, my passions, my hobbies, what I feel can help to solve people's pains and problems, and what can help people achieve their dreams and desires. And I'm gonna throw it out there, right? I think AI right now is killing my creativity. As a creative, a true born and bred creative mind who likes to stretch his creative muscles, I feel like my brain is being killed by AI. What I'm finding more so than ever now is that the landscape of content creation, regardless of what platform you're on, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, insert other platform here, it's all kind of the same stuff. It's just AI ideas, regurgitated waffle, fodder that just isn't memorable, and it's all blending into the same thing. And because this is all we consume all the time, and arguably all of it's fairly vanilla and fairly standard, we start to get into that frame of thinking. It might be that you think of an idea called the secret of going viral on YouTube, because you've probably already seen maybe 100 other people do the same thing, so you think it's the right thing to do because it's worked for other people. It might even be what they don't tell you about social media marketing, or what they don't tell you about the recruitment industry, or whatever it is. Again, you're doing things that other people have done, and you take that as an idea because you've seen it work for other people. If our inspiration is weak as creatives, if we're struggling to come up with ideas that really push the boat out, it's likely because the environment that we surround ourselves in is not giving us the nutrients to be able to grow as creators. The problem here is that the big brands that we look up to, and likely if you're in marketing or you run your own business, you're gonna have brands that you fantasize about, that you dream of becoming, that you love the way that they do their marketing. But actually, if you really break their marketing down, it isn't grand, it isn't new, it isn't innovative. I wouldn't even really say it's bold. It's the bog standard stuff. It's just maybe slightly better than the average creator. The thing is, they have money, and they can spend an absolute fortune, millions and millions and millions, on throwing that basic piece of fodder and waffle out there to get in front of you, to have other people go, oh my God, you've seen it, it's absolutely everywhere. The reason it's everywhere is because they've just spent an absolute fortune putting it everywhere, not because it's a great piece of creative. Unfortunately, as a smaller creator or a smaller business owner, you do not have the luxury of having infinite funds and big budgets to be able to push bog standard creative. You now have to think of new ideas that push the boat out, that go on the unbeaten track, that risk being a little bit too bold and maybe daring to be a little bit closer to the edge than some people. Because if you don't, you will risk blending into the same noise, the same saturation, and the same flavor that everybody else is. An example that I want to use here is a brand called Duolingo, who in the UK are absolutely massive. I'm not sure about anywhere else in the world, but in the UK they're huge. And marketers fantasize about this stuff. And almost every week on my LinkedIn, I see people go, oh my God, Duolingo, the campaign is amazing, it's changed my life. No, it isn't, and no, it hasn't. Why are you lying? This is an example of one of the most recent campaigns. I'll let you take of it what you will.
Know what happens now.
I would argue that that piece of content is pretty shit. It's pretty shit because it's blending something that is trendy and quite pop culture-y into just generic mass marketing where it doesn't really say anything. Now, I want you to take this example from Duolingo and I want you to apply it to Gary, who runs a recruitment agency down the road, who's got 10 staff and he's just doing a bit of fun marketing. If he had the same concept, he blended his recruitment business with Squid Game and he dressed his team into a little suit and did a few dances, chances are you'd go, Gary, this is shit. Gary, this is really bad. Or you wouldn't even tell Gary, you just scroll past and go, oh, poor Gary. Poor Gary. Look at him. But because Duolingo are a huge brand, people see their activity and take it as gospel that it's the best thing on the planet, that it's the most amazing inventive piece of marketing that they've ever seen. When it's not, it's just bog standard. So if you find yourself going into ChatGPT on a late night bit of a binge sesh, and you say, oh, Mr. ChatGPT, please can you give me 33 ideas on how I can market my marketing agency? You've already lost the game. Your ideas are unconditionally going to suck. Now, to really dive deeper into this, I really wanted to get to the root cause of why ideas are bad and actually what you can do to create better ideas for yourself and to market your business, right? So I spoke to a guy called Dave Officer, who is an absolute legend on LinkedIn. He's created some of the funniest stuff that I've seen in terms of videos and short form content. He's an illustrator. I'll leave the link to a website down below. Go and check it out. But generally speaking, he's a great guy, and this is essentially what we spoke about. I got Dave into my community a couple of weeks ago, and essentially what I'm gonna do in this video is condense some of the best bits that he spoke about and some of the things that I felt were the most tangible takeaways that actually help you to implement new idea development, come up with stronger ideas that actually help to push the boat out and everything in between. So let me break it down. His first point was to write 10 ideas in 10 minutes every single day. The key thing here is to give yourself categories as opposed to just diving into whatever will be in those 10 minutes, actually to give yourself almost like a North Star and a direction that you want to go in. For example, these categories could be any of the following: education, entertainment, information, storytelling, thought leadership, motivation, inspiration, comparisons, reviews, trends, culture, debunking, research, predictions, frameworks, experiments, or humor, just to name a few. What this does is it trains your creative muscle to think, to do the thing that it's really great at in coming up with ideas that are maybe a mixture of things that already exist and new concepts it can blend together to create something that feels innovative. I can guarantee that if you do this every day, 10 minutes in your diary every morning, 10 ideas in a particular category, it will help you to, one, think of ideas that are much stronger, and two, do this faster. So that throughout your day, you can start to think of ideas on the fly that are so much stronger than you could use AI for. I've personally been doing this myself for the last month or so, and I just found it really useful to get my creative gears going in the morning. I have found that I am coming up with better marketing ideas for my business as well. My content seems to be performing a little bit better. I don't know if I can tie it to this exact exercise, but I'm finding that the performance is starting to increase just a little bit, enough to kind of go, something's changing here and I quite like it. Number two is to track when you have an idea. You are most likely like a lot of creators where you sit down for an hour, you have pen to paper, or you dedicate time to thinking of ideas in the spot. So you get yourself into that state of mind, you try and think of ideas and you find that actually, it's a bit of an off day, or I'm not really finding that I'm coming up with anything decent. And you're left with a blank page or a few ideas that don't really kind of do what you want them to do. Problem is, these situations and these scenarios that we force ourselves into having to think about ideas are not the best situations to come up with the best stuff. Most likely, you have your best ideas after having a conversation, or being challenged on your opinion, or going for a walk, or like me, having a shower when your brain is completely mind numb after the day. Suddenly I get lots of ideas. Or even when you're about to go to bed and you're just winding down and suddenly, ping, Great marketing idea. If you start to keep track of when you have your best ideas, you can start to build your idea time around those environments. For example, if you find that your best ideas are after conversations with people, well, do more networking, go and have more conversations, go and do more in-person events and meetups and local community projects, whatever it is, start speaking to more people. If you find that you have your best ideas when you're out on a walk with the dog, make it part of your routine. Make it a habit that you stick to every Wednesday at 3 p.m. You go out with your dog and you just take your mind and your phone and you voice note yourself the best ideas that you come up with. Number 3, ask the right questions. It's most likely that you're going to have those situations that most people do, which is where they consume a piece of content and they go, oh, that's really good. Why didn't I think of that idea? So instead of trying to think of ideas that are similar to that, what I've learned from Dave's workshop is actually to start thinking of the questions that you would have needed to be asked in order to come up with that idea in the first place, and just create a big vault and a big list and a big bank of these questions that you can refer back to at any given time. For example, if you did enjoy the Duolingo advert, what parts of the Duolingo advert do you actually enjoy? Is it the dancing? Is it the style? Is it the way that it's shot? Is it the colors? Is it the messaging? Is it the style of cinematography? Is it the length of the video? Is it the intro? Is it the hook? Really deconstruct the individual elements that make up this piece of content and apply the ones that you like to your own stuff. Number 4 is to create a bank of great ideas. We live in a very busy world where we consume so much, but often we don't put enough time into actually smelling the flowers. What I mean by that is we are so busy going about our day and going about our work, living life on fast mode, and we consume so much content all the time that we rarely stop to cherish the creative and the content that really makes us stop in our tracks and think. And we see it as more of a, that's a cool idea, and we move on with our day, as opposed to, that's a nice idea, how can I do the same? How can I deconstruct? What do I have to ask to come up with that idea? We don't cherish them enough. What I have started doing personally for myself is just to create a big archive of all of the content that I find myself watching. That might be short form content on LinkedIn. It might be a design post that I've seen from a big creator. It might be a small creator's YouTube channel that I just kind of like the branding of. And it's a really interesting exercise because you start to become very self-aware around what you are interested in and what you're passionate about. And they're two really important things for creating ideas and creating content that you don't just want to force out, which is a pretty common problem if you're marketing a business maybe you don't particularly enjoy. It's really hard to come up with ideas. But actually aligning them with things that you love and that you're passionate about, that you have an interest in, helps it to be fun and helps it to be passion-fueled, which is a really key point in the process. For me, ideas are make or break. And if you get them wrong, it's the difference between surviving or thriving. It's the difference between standing out online or blending into the masses that are doing the same stuff as everybody else is. And because of the barrier to entry with AI and software and tech and tools and equipment becoming so much cheaper and faster and more affordable and less hard to use, everybody can create good stuff all of the time. It's the ideas that set you apart. It's the ideas and the boldness of those ideas that help to differentiate you from a sea of sameness. AI, in my opinion, is killing the creative process. It's removing the passion, it's removing the fun, it's removing the involvement and the depth you have to go into introspectively, but also from a surface level in terms of what do my audience engage with, what are their pains, what are their problems, what are their dreams, what are their desires, but more so introspectively, what do I enjoy? What am I passionate about? What really makes me click? What riles me up to the point that I'm agitated? What do I really love out there right now? AI, I feel, removes all of that process. Now, don't get me wrong, I love AI. I've kind of slagged it off a little bit here, but I do think it's good for mundane tasks, for admin tasks, for things that you can automate that really don't need your creativity, not my creative thinking. So what I'm gonna do here is leave you with a question that I want you to really sit on. It might not be an immediate answer today. It might not be within the space of a week. It might be something that just manifests itself over time. And that question is, are you currently creating the best, most creative, boldest content that you feel you can create right now? If you've answered yes, I don't know why you've just spent 10, 15 minutes watching this video. If you've answered no, then start to implement some of the advice that I've shared. Again, don't take it as verbatim, don't take it as truth. What works for other people probably won't work for you, and it's about trying to explore the different avenues and progress the way that you create, as opposed to taking everything as truth and doing everything all the time. It's not how it works. Take it as verbatim and implement the stuff that you feel is helpful, remove the stuff that you don't think is helpful, and over time you will become a better, stronger creator who creates content that actually gets you the attention that you deserve and the results that you want, which is ultimately, if you run a business, leads, customers, and cash in the bank. I'm Jack, and I've been creating videos professionally for the last decade, and the goal with my YouTube channel is to help you become a better video creator for free, to help grow your business and get the results that you want to live the life that you want, right? 2 ways that you can do that. 1, check out this video here. It will help you to become a better, stronger video creator. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, click that link right there. Join the creators that we have growing on this channel right now. And even though we're small, we are mighty, my friend. Okay, so stick around, and I shall see you in the next video. See you there.